Our next speaker is someone that I met actually a year ago, and an amazing woman who's done so much in her career and her life, and how she's dedicated her life specifically to women and the youth of her country, but not just her country, but her full continent as well. Our next speaker is Dr. Hannatu Adamu-Fika, who will be doing the opening remarks for us. Dr. Hannatu is a source of inspiration to women and young girls in Nigeria, especially the northeastern part where she comes from. Her education and career successes are also sources of inspiration to parents in their quest to send the female child to school in order to acquire education. And when you hear Dr. Hannatu's story, when you do interact with her later today, you will understand why she is so passionate about what she does. She was recruited as an assistant secretary and rose steadily to become a director before transferring her service to the Federal Civil Service in 1990 as a deputy director. In that capacity, she worked at the Office of the Secretary to Government of the Federation, moved on to National Commission for Women Affairs, where she became an asset in the development of policies and gave birth to the Better Life for Rural Women in Nigeria. The pet project, of course, that she named Her Excellency. So, in July 2007, Dr. Hannatu Adamu-Fika moved on and became the Director Secretary of Federal Government Staff Housing Loans Board, where she rose to the position of the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the board. She took over the leadership of a board that was almost moribund, with the record of giving housing loans to only 12,556 public servants. And since it was her lifelong commitment to building a stronger nation by President Barack Obama of the United States of America. Her commitment to the provision of welfare needs of public servants, especially housing, has earned her local and international recognition. Ladies and gents, let's put our hands together to welcome Dr. Hannatu Adamu-Fika to conduct the opening address for us. A great honor to have you here again, Dr. Hannatu.
Your Excellencies, ambassadors here present, our distinguished honorees, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings from the board of the Center for Economic and Leadership Development. It gives me great pleasure to be in Dubai, the economic capital of the Middle East, and to welcome you all to the 7th edition of the South America, Africa, Middle East, and the Asian Women Summit. Although I'm participating in this gathering of women leaders for the third time, I'm glad today to attend the summit for the first time in my capacity as the chairperson of the Global Advisory Board of the CLD, the organizers of this summit. It is gratifying to indicate with deep sense of honor that I accepted in June this year the offer to be the chairperson of the Board of Trustees of the CELD, as it presents another platform for me to continue to contribute my own quota at the global level to promote the role of women and the influence they can make in facilitating sustainable development for the empowerment of women and the girl child at various levels of endeavors, irrespective of circumstances, the cultures, the tribes we find ourselves in. Needless to say, we are all aware that available data indicate that women participate less than men in many spheres of the society. It is also on record that in the public sector, it has become a recurring development for women to strive so hard to get into the upper echelon of leadership. However, such positions are denied them because of reasons not too far away from gender discrimination against females. This scenario is even more glaring in the private sector, especially in the business ventures. For example, the Grant Thornton's Women in Business report, which was released earlier in the year, disclosed that the percentage of women in the senior management is only 29, leaving 71 to the male folk. It is so saddening to say that this is the highest record in the proportion of women in executive roles compared to men around the world. Indeed, research has shown that for organizations, both public and private, to compete favorably and thrive in the global market amidst the diverse global challenges, there is need to utilize, consolidate, and harness the perspectives of diverse skills offered by women. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I have also experienced from my years of public service in my home country, Nigeria, when women participate as part of the workforce and compete on an even platform with men, there is a greater potential to see creativity, innovation, and transparency in the state of affairs. This phenomena is expected to translate into greater gender diversity in the workplace, in addition to increase in organizational effectiveness. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, to move to the next level in the empowerment of and improvement of the roles women and girls, in the improvement in the roles of women and girls in sustainable development of our countries, it is very important for us to take this summit and indeed this gathering as an opportunity to utilize innovative ways of moving beyond the need to engage female leaders to developing female leaders that can competently combine their efforts and talents with that of their male counterparts to drive the required sustainable growth in our respective countries and communities. I therefore urge all of us to take today's conversations and engagements beyond this room to corporate boardrooms and political offices to help fast-track the much-needed women empowerment for sustainable development. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, their excellencies, let me congratulate some of the women leaders here present who have distinguished themselves in different walks of life and male-dominated sectors that will be honored today as role models for their efforts and contributions towards the sustainable development of their communities, the girl child in particular. The center will remain indebted. As we honor some of you later today, have it in mind that so many young women and girls from across the developing nations look up to you for inspiration and guidance, and we cannot, as individuals or a group, afford to fail them. In my capacity as the chairperson of CELD board, I assure you that that CLD will never waver in her efforts to create sustainable global platforms for you to support one another as women leaders and to improve the overall performance in our various communities. Also, the center will strive to explore unique approaches and models to develop young female leaders in developing nations, thereby create opportunities to excel. I wish all of us a very rewarding event and networking session This summit is now declared open for business. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hannatu. I had the privilege of spending time with Dr. Hannatu in New York last year alongside the UN Commission. And I must tell you, the wealth of information that Dr. Hannatu sits with, it will be worth your while for many of you to actually go and sit with her today and talk about all the incidents that she's been through, but yet persevered and got to where she is. Dr. Hannatu, you are definitely an icon, and we're very proud to have you part of the board of the Center for Economic Leadership Development. Ladies and gents, a round of applause for Dr. Hannatu again.